What's up, guys? This is a video on the creation of the second ambient explorations video, the one where I played 3 completely separate improvisations at Tuna Canyon and then brought them together to create one ambient piece, which was the ambient exploration number 2. So this is the creation of that video. Let's get into it. So after my first ambient exploration, I kind of took a long break and I got really annoyed with myself. So on this day, I felt pretty bad about my lack of productivity. I feel like shit. Mentally. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of pissed off enough at myself to go get some things done. So it's 6 p.m. and I'm gonna go out and do a hike and try to start to do these kind of like things where I go out to a place and then do an ambient set in somewhere beautiful, and we'll see how it goes. I've been putting this off because I'm worried about all the things that could go wrong, or if it's a waste of time, or so on and so forth. So we're just gonna try it out, see what happens, and you'll be along the ride with me. Anyway, so I just decided enough is enough. I'm gonna get my shit together and I'm gonna go do this ambient exploration. So I got my stuff together. We've got the wave state, pair of headphones to here, the jackery in order to have power. This, believe it or not, is a sustain pedal that I fashioned out of an old walkie-talkie. This is our H4N in order to record. Then out here we've got power and cables for connecting the synth to the recorder, and then I've got a lav back there along with an extra battery. Then the tripod here. So I'm gonna lug all of this stuff up to a mountain and set it up and see if it's worth it. Let's go see. Then I hopped on off to go to Tuna Canyon. Got there, took the stuff out of the car, just parked. Got my gear over here, blanket, ready to go. It's pretty heavy. Let's see how this goes. We got keyboard, we got tripod, we got blanket. Only like less than a quarter mile. I'm already out of breath. So, theoretically speaking, I'm gonna go all the way up there to the top of that. But also theoretically speaking, I might just set up there and see what happens. Let's go check out this spot. This is a promising looking spot. This is probably the most easily accessible one. The question is, do I face towards the camera or away? Let's try 2 different setups. Very nice. Like maybe over here. Ooh, that could be really nice. Okay, let's try this. I decided let me just set up a camera and start playing. So I chose the key of C# major and played around with 3 different angles, 3 different sounds, and then that process was over. I did what I wanted. I wanted to go out and record these pieces, and that part was done. The sun's heading down. Or at least it got me inspired. Okay. 3 takes done. 3 takes down. Time to go home and see if it worked. Anyway, then came the second half, which is seeing how these 3 independent tracks could come together. So, this is what happened after I put everything into FL Studio. I've got my 3 tracks. My first track was stereo 0 right here. That's connected to this track. It's the hybrid string. That was kind of the first thing that I explored when creating this ambient exploration. The second track was stereo 1 here. Stereo 1 is connected to this track. And that's the sparkle bell. Kind of like, it's this bell sound that has a delay that then pitches it up kind of a fifth, I believe, each time. It's a cool sound. I love the sound. And then this kind of bendy sine, this sine wave that's very bendy. And I hadn't done an ambient exploration with it yet, so wanted to try it out. Even though I did this first one first, I really liked what I started with on stereo 2 with the bendy sine, this kind of like, you know, so that I wanted that to be the beginning instrument. So that's why I have this instrument fade in, and this doesn't have a fade in because I was fading it in through the volume on the actual piece. Now let's go into the effects. For the first hybrid string, that's this guy right here. This is the one with the most amount of processing on it. First of all, we've got a EQ just to take out some of the high end. Sometimes this instrument is just a little too crisp, you know. First of all, let me give you without completely. So this is. So as much as I love this sound, sometimes it becomes a little boring to me. So that's why I brought in a little bit of movement through the filter and that EQ. I mean, the EQ is just, it's a technical EQ. But I wanted to bring a little motion through that filter so we get this kind of like... Then from there, I've got a delay through timeless. So let me bring that on. That's a really interesting piece. It's very subtle in the background though. This is what it sounds like completely wet, but we only have it about 20% or 30%. And then from there we add a little bit of portal. These are my portal effects. I use ambient lake a lot of the times as the starting point, and then I go from there. So this is what it sounds like when you add a portal into there. Gets a lot more smooth. And then after that, this is a low pass that I bring down at one point in the piece, just to kind of start to take out that high end. And then, yeah, that's about it for that hybrid string. Then let's listen to the sparkle bell. The sparkle bell is like this. You can hear this one a lot through the piece. It has probably the second most amount of processing. First of all, it starts with a limiter. This was just left on. It's not actually doing anything. Then we have an EQ, and this throughout the piece is following this automation right here, this automation track, to go up and down, bringing this frequency range up and down throughout the piece, bringing that movement. Then from there, I just have a little bit of reverb that's not even on for most of the piece. It only gets engaged over here. Then the only other thing is the limiter, which is being controlled right here. It's just slight gain up and down to just, that's what I use to kind of bring instruments in or out depending on what I need at that moment. Like, is this a moment for this instrument to shine? Is it a moment of chaos? Is it a moment of sparseness? That's what we're deciding when we make these automation clips. We're kind of taking this thing that's already been improvised and then shaping it in a way where it can work a little bit better together. Then after that is kind of the most prevalent recording, that being the kind of bendy sine. It's not much going on here, really only two effects, one being the EQ. Really, this is just shaping the tonal quality. There was a little bit too much 200 for my taste, and I didn't really want any high end coming out of this. And then the only thing that's moving is this. We've got this gain that is attached right here. So it's following this automation line. And it's just bringing it, it's just making it louder when it needs to be more in the forefront, and then it's taking it back when it needs to be a little bit more of a background piece. It's very subtle, but it is an integral part of creating movement throughout this ambient piece. So overall, we've got this automation that doesn't move. This automation is controlling the EQ band of this first one here, stereo. So this one, you can see it's going up as this one's going up. And that's changing the tonal quality throughout the piece. This is doing similar things. It's going at a little bit of an opposite, but without being an exact opposite. And that is controlling the hybrid string, how much of that kind of that bottom end is coming through. And yeah, that's about all of the processing that I had on those three pieces. As you can see, I didn't cut them up at all. They're just fully like that. I did mark on here where the beginnings of each line were. These two started the same. These were just 0 starts. And then this was the only one that I shifted. I shifted it 13 seconds to the right. I just wanted it to come in a little bit later. And I think it worked out really well. Anyway, if you have any questions on this piece, let me know. But that's, yeah, the overview of how it was created and then how it was done. Oh, last thing. For the video, I brought the different angles in and kind of just moved around where the different videos were throughout the piece, and then also overlaid a video of the automation and the audio tracks onto the top of the video so that you could kind of see generally like where the automation is, what is happening inside of the DAW. Because I didn't want it to be like a secret that I did things inside of the DAW afterwards. Anyway, yeah, that's the whole piece, and that is the creation. Thank you for watching this video, and if you want more things like this, let me know. If you don't, also let me know, because I don't want to put in energy on things that don't really matter. So let me know. Thank you, and thank you.